A really important concept and a trick that you can actually work on is spinning. So there is a difference between twirling, spinning, and delaying. And you're going to learn more about delaying in the other videos. But the way that it works, to spin a disc simply means that we're snapping our wrist or twisting our hands to put spin on the disc. Right? A disc with spin will fly really well. Remember, Frisbee is part wing, part parachute. The more spin that you have, the better it's going to glide, the better it's going to fly, the more lift it's going to get. When we're doing freestyle, when we're doing tricks, spin will help us in other ways. So when I'm putting spin on a disc, it can help me with body rolls, which we'll talk about later, but it really helps you with airbrushing, okay? Also helps you with delaying. So if somebody throws me the Frisbee and I catch it, then it's done. If somebody throws me the disc and I delay the catch, okay, you'll learn about delaying in another video, okay, there's spin on the disc. And so knowing that a disc will spin clockwise or counterclockwise is really important, because when you go to throw a disc to your partner or to yourself to do tricks, if I throw a backhand and I'm right-handed, the disc is now spinning clockwise. If I throw a left-handed backhand, the disc is spinning counterclockwise. If I throw a right-handed forehand, it's going to spin the same direction as a backhand, so it's spinning counterclockwise. So the drill and the trick. The drill here, the tricks that we're going to be working on is spinning the disc. You can either use two hands or one hand. And the key here is to have a lot of snap on your wrist, but no velocity. We're not throwing the disc. We're just trying to snap the disc, make it spin, but not have it fly. So in freestyle, if I'm throwing it to a partner, I do want to have some velocity so the disc will actually get to them, but I mainly want to focus on the spin, because in freestyle, a lot of the tricks have spin on the disc and then they're doing different things like delaying them, right? Different things like that. So really important that you learn how to put spin on the disc. So right-handed backhand will go clockwise. You can also practice a forehand. I'm not going to do it now because I will hit the camera. Throwing a forehand with a lot of spin and not a lot of power or no power is super difficult. Right? It's easy with a backhand to snap your wrist, but when you go to throw a forehand, it's not so easy to put a lot of spin on it like that. Okay? I have friends who are very good at that. I'm not very good at that. It's going to take some practice. You can also practice an overhand wrist flip. Okay, some of you might know the throw as a chicken wing, but it was originally called the overhand wrist flip. So instead of holding a backhand grip, thumb on top, fingers underneath, you're going to flip it upside down. So thumb underneath, fingers on top, disc flat, and then you're going to flick your wrist. So small space. This is not one of my strongest throws, but I can get a decent amount of spin on the disc. And when I do an overhand wrist flip, the disc is actually spinning counterclockwise. So that's how you work on that. If you want to work on your lefty backhand, you can do that as well. Or just your offhand backhand. If you're left-handed, work on your right-handed backhand. But very important to try and get maximum spin, minimal velocity, both directions. Right now, I can do a lot of spin clockwise with the backhand, okay? But I'm not very good at putting a lot of spin with other throws that give me counterclockwise spin. So that's something to practice when you have some time indoors, in a backyard, or in the park. If you're indoors, maybe put up a sheet just in case you do release it and hit something. You don't want to hit lights or windows or people or dogs. Have some fun with it, but that's why spin is important, because a lot of tricks in freestyle not only depend on your knowledge of which spin is on the disc and which spin you prefer, but making sure that you put maximum spin. Either if you're doing a trick or practicing a trick on your own, or if you have a partner and you're trying to give them a lot of spin on the disc. Right? Everyone's a little different. I like to throw clock, and that means I like to receive clock. That's what I practice myself. There's some people who can throw clock, but like to receive counter. Best thing you can do is learn to throw and receive both spins. That's going to take some time, but we have that right now. Get out, have some fun, learn a new trick all about spinning the disc.